Hello, and welcome to the Community IT Innovators Technology Topics Podcast, where we discuss nonprofit technology, cybersecurity, tech project implementation, strategic planning, and nonprofit IT careers. Find us at communityit.com.
Hello, and welcome to Community IT Voices, a series featuring interviews with nonprofit IT professionals. In this series, we will talk about nonprofit technology career paths, career resources, skills, and certifications. We will also touch on mentoring opportunities as you start out on your career and ways to get back if you are further along.
All right. So my name is Carolyn, and I'm here with Community IT Innovators interviewing Robin about your career path in nonprofit technology. So if you would just want to introduce yourself and how long you've worked at Community IT.
I have been at Community IT for 10 years and about 7 months. I just love this place. I came here from a public charter school where I was there for 10 years as well, from its inception. And I was their first technology coordinator, although that's not where I started. I finished as a technology coordinator.
What is your title at Community IT? What do you do?
I am Senior Helpdesk Analyst. I've been on the help desk now for approximately 6 years.
So what are your responsibilities?
I manage tickets that are assigned to me via email, as well as receive calls and chats to assist clients with their technology issues.
What sort of things do you do on a typical day?
On a typical day, there's no typical day. So for the most part, I am assisting clients with whatever stops their work, be it in an interruption in their email, something has gone wrong on their computer, or even with services, cloud services that they need access to. Whatever stops their work or keeps them from being able to continue through their day.
I guess, do you have any, what are there some really strange things that stick in your mind, like without naming the innocent? Is there, kind of a greatest hits of things that you've had to help someone with that you could help them?
I don't know that there's any one thing. I mean, it seems to me that every single day is different. So nothing really comes to mind as being the strangest, but probably the most memorable things are when you realize that that everybody is experiencing the same thing. So, there could be a day where everybody is calling and saying that they can't access their email. And, maybe Office 365 has one of their, one-off downtimes where, something has gone wrong with their servers, and true enough, nobody can access email. So those are strange, and it's kind of off-putting because you can't really help the client except to manage their expectations about when the service is going to come back up. And
what would you say are the best things about what you do at Community IT?
I think probably the best thing for me is that no day is the same. Like I said, I haven't had 2 days ever that are the same as each other. So that's probably the best thing, is the variety of.
I guess it sounds too like having the experience that you do. That's also sounds like a good part of your job, is being able to help people with, maybe they're not expecting anyone to be able to help them, and then you have the experience.
Right.
You can help them out. What's one thing about your job that we probably don't know that you'd like others to know about working for a help desk?
Okay, so yeah, one of the probably the key thing about our help desk is that all of our technicians enjoy a good puzzle. We all love to dig in and get the solution for the problems that our clients call with. And, sometimes they are unique. And when they are unique, we have um, the ability and the freedom to consult each other amongst our team and discuss, this new thing that has happened, or has anybody seen something something like this before? And, we name it and somebody will say, yeah, that happened to me last week. And so the free exchange of information is wonderful. But yeah, we all love a good puzzle.
That's interesting that you say the team orientation too, because I think if I thought of a stereotype of like the help desk technician, it would be the lone person who comes in and, is maybe not all that friendly perhaps.
Right,
And
right.
so I love the idea that you guys operate as a team and use each other as resources and really enjoy talking to the people and getting to the bottom of their problems.
Right. I think I had that wrong when I first started here. I thought that, I'd just be assigned to a client and it was up to me to, gain my own knowledge and figure out the problems without much help. I thought I needed to know it all, but it has been the best setup for how teamwork actually shows up in the workplace. I think before, teamwork was kind of a buzzword, one of those things you say in interviews, but we really do work as a team here. So it's wonderful.
Well, that is a great segue because my next question is why did you apply to Community IT, and what was it about Community IT that, like, going through the interview and starting to work there made you apply and take the job?
Well, as I mentioned before, I was at a public charter school for 10 years before I actually began working at Community IT. And at that time, well, maybe not at that time, maybe 3 or 4 years before, we were clients of Community IT. And getting to know our sysadmin, maybe he was sysadmin then, and understanding, he would tell us different things about Community IT and how they were employee owners and about the teamwork, somewhat. I didn't really understand it the way I do now and how things are organized here. But yeah, it was the place for me. Just even then, I used to dream about wonder about whether or not that could be a fit for me and whether or not I could do IT all day long. Because at that time, when we were clients, IT was a small part of my job. But of course, it was where it was the part of my job I loved the most. So it was a great opportunity that arose when I was ready to make that jump, and I reached out to our former tech, and he said, yeah, you should apply. So
that is a great segue into my next question, which is kind of looking at it from the other side of what do you think it was about your background and experience that made you a good fit, for the people interviewing you and hiring you? What was it about you that stood out, do you think?
Probably my willingness to learn about new technologies. I was primarily a Mac person before joining community IT. I didn't have much experience with Windows, which also made me nervous about making this jump. But I think they saw my ability to, jump in and learn a new technology. I have always been into technology and into learning what makes things tick behind the scenes. I tell a funny story about when I was 9. My parents got me an easy bake oven, and I took it apart because I wanted to know what is in there that makes these little cakes, disgusting cakes, bake.
Wasn't it like a little light bulb? Like
Yes, I
essentially,
discovered the light bulb. I discovered a lot of things, but that was when my mom said she knew that I was
Uh-huh.
going to do something that had to do with you know making things.
Doing technology. I wonder, my next question is about, I mean, it sounds like you were interested in technology, but like you said, not sure if that could be your full job. So if you were talking to, the you in high school or someone else in high school who was thinking about working in technology or specifically in nonprofit technology support, is there any advice that you would give them of, what they should do to prepare or what kind of personality or interests would be helpful?
I would think that the person that works here at Community IT should love people first,
Hmm.
and love, you know, just helping, um, regardless of what it is that what your affinity is as far as technology is concerned. An affinity towards technology is, of course, key, but wanting to help somebody through their frustration, whatever the situation is a key skill that I tap into daily. So
Is there anything about your job that you thought you knew going into it that it turned out you were totally wrong about?
I think primarily the aspect of you're not alone. There is not only is there here, there's the team approach to everything that we do, but also there are resources online. There's resources that you could tap into to gain more knowledge. There's certifications you could get. I think the A+ is the starting place for most IT folks as far as certifications are concerned, because it kind of gets you into the insides of the computer and learning how to do some basic troubleshooting.
Hmm.
And that way you would kind of know whether this is something you like or not. Yeah.
So that'd be your advice, to start early, getting
Yeah.
involved in what you'd be doing. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I guess kind of on the flip side, we've been talking a little bit about when people are starting out thinking about a career, or when you started at Community IT, but you said you've been there for a decade. Do you have an idea of, like, when you retired from Community IT, what sort of position you'd like to have, or like what you would like your legacy, I guess, at Community IT to be?
I think I'd still like to be helping people. I'd still like to at least be talking to clients every day, and perhaps more complex issues that I could be helping with. But talking to people is what I enjoy anyway every day. So
Exactly. It sounds like you do have you have a great team, you have a lot of support. If you were giving advice to someone else in nonprofit technology or just technology jobs that maybe isn't getting that sort of support from the people around them. Do you have any advice on like where you can go for support in our industry?
Um, to be honest, starting with just Googling your issue, um, it turns out there's not a question I've ever asked on Google that hasn't already been asked, or at least asked, sometimes even resolved. So starting there to tap into, I guess, message boards and like-minded people is probably the place I'd start. Try to get somewhere like Community IT where we help each other. There's also never I've never been turned away by any of my colleagues for a question that I can't solve. So.
Right. I think it is like we've been talking about this very specific subset of technology jobs that is support for nonprofits, which is what Community IT does. And I imagine that people who are going into technology may have some like questions or doubts about taking a nonprofit support role as opposed to, some other career paths. So do you have any kind of words of wisdom for, like what makes a nonprofit technology job, so great or worth pursuing?
It is wonderful to be able to help organizations whose first goal is not technology. They are out changing the world in their own small way or large way more often. It's wonderful to be, behind that, to be able to say that you helped with whatever their mission is, in our unique way.
So it sounds like if that's something that people are pursuing, like that sense of helping, that this is a good way to combine maybe an interest in technology and the desire to help others and serve.
Absolutely.
I guess I have one more question, which is when you tell people that you work at Community IT, I'm sure when you say that you work at a help desk, even if people have some misconceptions about it, they pretty much know what that is. But when people ask about Community IT, what do you tell them? What does Community IT do?
Okay, one of the things that we learn as we are being oriented to Community IT is that first and foremost, Community IT is a customer service company, which means that we should approach everything as if we are providing our customer with a service, and to actually have them be able to walk away from the experience with a smile and with a sense of relief that their problem has been resolved. So that's primarily what I tell folks. So we're a customer service organization that provides assistance for IT issues.
Thank you so much for spending time with me today. It was so interesting to learn about what you do, and I just thank you again for participating.
Well, thank you for having me.
Community IT does these free webinars and podcasts for our community, and we love sharing our knowledge and experience. If you have more questions or are having trouble with your IT at your nonprofit, please get in touch with us on our website, www.communityit.com, so we can start a conversation or schedule an assessment. Downloading any of our free resources there will get you signed up for our webinar reminders, and you can attend our next webinar in real time and ask our experts your own questions. If you love podcasts, Please subscribe and leave us a rating to help others find this leadership resource for nonprofits.